So artificial intelligence, you might have heard it quite now every single day on every single domains. So, but actually speaking, artificial intelligence is not new. We had it right from 1950s, which is say over 7 decades ago. Only thing is, it is not notable, or it has not reached the consumer level. Whereas with today, the tools like Alexa, Google Home, and all your smartphones and smart cameras, we have these artificial intelligence technologies reach to the end users. So in 1950, when it all started, so it started with something called as Turing test or a Turing algorithm. Okay, I have a video on it. We'll look at it. I'll just give you a brief on the timeline of it. We'll look at the video to for you to get a better understanding on that. So Turing test, Turing meaning what the test is all about is a scientist came up telling that we should have a bot trained for conversation, and we can test it with five other real humans in the conversation and one bot there, and there should be a person on the other side who should not be able to distinguish among those six who is a bot. So if this has been successfully done, meaning that we have achieved an artificial intelligence in terms of conversation. So that was the initial test that was happening, and they were uh, I would say to some level successful, some level unsuccessful in that. And with all the technology, the processing powers and everything that we had in 1915, that would be very difficult. But that was a very good try that time. And later in 1955 is when the term artificial intelligence is coined. So until then, there was no name for it. So it was 1955 when they coined the name as artificial intelligence. And 1964 is when the first chatbot named Eliza has come. So this Eliza chatbot, it can actually get involved with humans in some normal conversations or basic conversations. But everything until this time, what they were trying to do is they were trying to somehow trick the person to believe that this is a human. When I say trick the person to believe that it's a human, like it will, they will give a persona for the bot, like it's a paranoid person. Let's say I will not tell the reviewer that it's a bot on the other side. Rather, we will just tell him that he's a person who's paranoid about something, maybe paranoid about his health or something. So then what happens, meaning a mentally ill person. So then what happened, whatever the conversation that they are doing, the bot would again get to the same thing which it is programmed for. So they might think, okay, it is still a human, but actually speaking, this is not real time conversational one. It just has techniques to trick the human believe that it's a human. But in reality, at that point of time, it cannot get into the real conversations and all. And then we had many other things. 1989, we had the steering system, artificial intelligence neural networks in the automobile steering system. As on today, we have the artificial intelligence in self-driving cars. So the entire car is powered by the by artificial intelligence. The Teslas, the self-driving cars of Google's. So it all started with the steering system in 1989. So, and then the next one is, and even now if you're driving, you can see your steering system has that, which is like when you are taking a turn, and then after that you are taking a u-turn or something, you don't have to say again steer back your steering. The steering gets back to the normal position. But if you're taking not a u-turn, it's a smaller turn, you might not get the steering back to the right position in that pace. So all these things, we do have systems within the steering which can help us have the positions, get the positions, and understand what is the actual action taken and act accordingly. So then in the year 2002, we had the vacuum cleaner, named Roomba. You might have seen this in a lot of WhatsApp and Facebook videos. So this had been circulating even few months back, that you would have something like a weighing machine, a circular one, which can just go around the home and clean everything. without any human intervention. So this is the vacuum cleaner, which is based on artificial intelligence, meaning it can see the obstacles with the sensors, and it can go accordingly. Let's say that if there is a bed over there, it can see the obstacles and not get hit over there, and it can also see the dirts on the floor, where to clean and to what pressure. Let's say it's a wet dirt, or it's a very dry one. What pressure it has to apply, what vacuum it has to do. So all these things it can understand and clean it on its own without any human intervention. And then recently in the year 2017, and these are just high level informations. You do have lots and lots of other products and improvement happened in these 7 decades. So the last one, 2017, we had something called as AlphaGo and AlphaZero. So these AlphaGo, AlphaZero, these are all the uh, artificial intelligence which can play the game. So AlphaGo is for a game called Go, which is primarily played at China. And let's say this game is more complex. It is more complex than chess. So this game, China was the only one who was winning the international tournaments right from the inception of the game. And there was one person in China, the world champion, who had never lost a single match in his entire life until that time. So what had happened is, with the Google inventing this AlphaGo, they had made this AlphaGo. This AlphaGo is completely based on neural networks, artificial intelligence, and it had learned the game itself. Nobody had taught it how to learn. And it went on to beat him 3-0 in all the games, the 3 games that they played. And earlier you had these videos coming up in the YouTube also, and later then China had some problems with it and they've done something, and then Google just removed these videos from the YouTube because they don't want to show China is losing in something. And the other thing is AlphaZero. AlphaZero is for chess, and of course we do have other engines, chess engines, which is primarily a rule-based engine. Like until 2017, there was something called as Stockfish, which is termed as the strongest chess engine. Let's say the strongest human chess player in the world today is Magnus Carlsen, who has a rating of 2,850. And this Stockfish, until 2017, is given a rating of 3,100, meaning even the strongest human cannot beat that. So it was that strong, and it's like a golden rule. Whatever Stockfish says is final. So that kind of strong engine. So against that engine, Google deployed a artificial intelligence and had an engine called AlphaZero, which learned chess in just 4 hours. It played with itself and it has learned chess. Nobody taught the chess except for the basic rules. And after that, they had 100 games played between the Stockfish, the that time strongest engine in the world, and the artificial engine, which is the AlphaZero. And out of 100 games, 62 ended in draw and 38 the AlphaZero won. Not even a single game was able to win by the Stockfish, which was termed as the strongest chess engine at that point of time. And even you can go to YouTube and see many articles if you're interested that AlphaZero, they thought they are teaching chess to AlphaZero, but actually towards the end, AlphaZero was able to teach that there are multiple other openings and the theory which humans least explored. I'll just show you a video on Turing test.
What is consciousness? Can an artificial machine really think?
Okay.
Does the mind just consist of neurons in the brain, or is there some intangible spark at its core? For many, these have been vital considerations for the future of artificial intelligence. But British computer scientist Alan Turing decided to disregard all these questions in favor of a much simpler one. Can a computer talk like a human? This question led to an idea for measuring artificial intelligence that would famously come to be known as the Turing test. In the 1950 paper, Computing Machinery and Intelligence, Turing proposed the following game. A human judge has a text conversation with unseen players and evaluates their responses. To pass the test, a computer must be able to replace one of the players without substantially changing the results. In other words, a computer would be considered intelligent if its conversation couldn't be easily distinguished from a human's. Turing predicted that by the year 2000, machines with 100 megabytes of memory would be able to easily pass his test. But he may have jumped the gun. Even though today's computers have far more memory than that, few have succeeded, and those that have done well focused more on finding clever ways to fool judges than using overwhelming computing power. Though it was never subjected to a real test, the first program with some claim to success was called ELIZA. With only a fairly short and simple script, it managed to mislead many people by mimicking a psychologist, encouraging them to talk more and reflecting their own questions back at them. Another early script, Perry, took the opposite approach by imitating a paranoid schizophrenic who kept steering the conversation back to his own pre-programmed obsessions. Their success in fooling people highlighted one weakness of the test. Humans regularly attribute intelligence to a whole range of things that are not actually intelligent. Nonetheless, annual competitions like the Loebner Prize have made the test more formal, with judges knowing ahead of time that some of their conversation partners are machines. But while the quality has improved, many chatbot programmers have used similar strategies to ELIZA and Perry. 1997's winner, Catherine, could carry on amazingly focused and intelligent conversation, but mostly if the judge wanted to talk about Bill Clinton. And the more recent winner, Eugene Gustman, was given the persona of a 13-year-old Ukrainian boy, so judges interpreted its non sequiturs and awkward grammar as language and culture barriers. Meanwhile, other programs like Cleverbot have taken a different approach by statistically analyzing huge databases of real conversations to determine the best responses. Some also store memories of previous conversations in order to improve over time. But while Cleverbot's individual responses can sound incredibly human, its lack of a consistent personality and inability to deal with brand new topics are a dead giveaway. Who in Turing's day could have predicted that today's computers would be able to pilot spacecraft, perform delicate surgeries, and solve massive equations, but still struggle with the most basic small talk? Human language turns out to be an amazingly complex phenomenon that can't be captured by even the largest dictionary. Chatbots can be baffled by simple pauses like, or questions with no correct answer. And a simple conversational sentence like, I took the juice out of the fridge and gave it to him, but forgot to check the date, requires a wealth of underlying knowledge and intuition to parse. It turns out that simulating a human conversation takes more than just increasing memory and processing power. And as we get closer to Turing's goal, we may have to deal with all those big questions about consciousness after all.
So this video was made in the year 2016, and that time we did not have much of the development in chatbots and conversational bots, and many things towards the end of this video which they have said that the bots cannot do or cannot understand is now possible. I'm not saying everything, but many things that they told towards the end, like a simple pause, a bot can get confused. So these things have all been developed, and today, which is in 2020, we have it available. So this actually, more than the entire context, I wanted to make this point very clear, that you can see how fast growing is this and how new this entire industry is. So 2016, there was a video made by TED. TED is globally known, and they have made a video stating that bot can easily be confused with G's pauses and everything. And 4 years later, now most of these things are addressed. So every other day, there are one or other developments happening in this field, which is very quickly evolving. So at that time when they made it, there is nothing called as a Dialogflow. There was nothing called as a Lex of Amazon. There was no Alexa itself by the time. So and then all these things got evolved in these 4 years of time. So you can see that how fast this is growing. If at all there is some industry or some domain that is growing very fast today, it's artificial intelligence.